Losers lose, man. Losers lose. It's in the definition. It's an important concept to understand because it's definitive, man. Losers lose. And we want to stay away from that. And notice I didn't say failure. Failure, man. Failure is, man, it's going to happen. Man, failure is going to happen when you're pushing the bounds. When you're pushing that limit, you're going to hit some failure. Man, that's the thresholds. That's the thresholds of your capability, of your current capability. It's what it is. But a loser, man, that's prolific. That's definitive. That's a label that we want to avoid at all costs. And the way I look at a loser, man, is it's a mindset. People always talk about, man, winning's mindset. Man, yeah, losing's a mindset too. A lot of times before people go into any training pipeline or in any cage, sometimes they've lost before they've even stepped foot in there. Now, how do we avoid the trappings of being a loser? Starts with this negative lens. I see sometimes in these comments, man, there was a video I dropped the other day. Rally the troops. Man, you wouldn't believe there's people dropping negative comments in the Rally the Troops video. Can you imagine the level of just negativity in your life that you're going to see something where it's about taking positive action? And the reason for that video was one of the base commanders, man, called me up because there had been a bunch of suicides at the base, and he wanted a positive message because I had been in a suicidal state. Man, could you imagine being on the other side of that? Someone going, hey, man, he got kicked out of the SEAL teams. He's not a good role model. Bro, you're a loser. A fucking loser. The guys who are watching this probably know if they're watching it. Bro, you're a loser. Because your entire world is a negative lens. You're committed to misunderstanding. You can't even hear effectively because you're so clouded with your loser mindset. Everything's got to be a scam. Everything's got to be a fucking negative. Everyone's got to be out for some selfish reason. Man, fuck that. And fuck you if you're that negative fucking person. Those are the worst type of people. The worst type of people that will just sit back, armchair quarterback, not even armchair quarterback, just sit back in their grandma's basement or wherever they are and just toss negativity out in words. Never would get on stage and grab the mic. If you got something to say, take that stage and grab that mic and listen if anybody gives a fuck what you have to say. No, because you're a loser. Most people watching this, man, we ain't those people. That's why we can't even define. And I appreciate y'all for chiming in on that. Because stupidity needs to be corrected, but no amount of evidence will convince an idiot. That's just the truth, man. Because they're committed to misunderstanding. Their entire lens and frame of reference is mutated. It's not correct, so they can't even interpret and take on information accurately. And so it's kind of pointless. But if there is a shred of ability to learn in some of those people, I would say, look at your results. Look at your results. If you've had a constant life of mediocrity, low frequency, bad relationships, no financial success, no physical success, what are you doing? Dude, you do not know what you're talking about because you're a loser. It's not that you fail. You don't even have the balls to fail. Don't even have the balls to fail. Because you never tried nothing. Never tried nothing. Just throw shade at motherfuckers trying to do some shit. Doing some shit. Now, man, there's times in my life I've been a loser, man. Doing drugs, succumbing to low vibrational desires. Right? That's loser shit. I admit it. Right? I've had season of being a loser, breaking it down, and then I corrected it because I recognized and I understood and I heard that authentic voice of God, that internal advisor going, man, you're being a loser. I had the ability to get honest with myself. So I had the ability to rise above it. And guys know what I'm talking about, man. When you can get honest, it's a superpower. Going, look at yourself in the mirror going, I'm a fucking loser. Damn, I felt that when I was on my mom's couch, dude, getting out of jail, riding a bike, stacking boxes at Home Depot in the graveyard shift, and getting turned down by military branch. So I looked at myself and like, you fucking loser. This was because of your choices. Now fix it. Then I went off and fucking figured out a way to get into the SEAL pipeline and became a Navy SEAL from that point. Because only reason I had that ability is because I could get honest. Losers can't get honest. That's why they can't get better. They can't get better. Because you can't change something you can't admit, and you can't change something you can't see. You definitely can't change something you can't understand. The only way to understand it is to point at it and to identify it. Right? Because then it's a problem set, and then it's solvable. But if you're completely ignorant that it even exists, good luck. You're just going to stay in these perpetuating cycles of self-sabotage and no success. No good relationships, no good. Your body's falling apart, your health is falling apart, your life is falling apart. Bro, if that's happening, get honest about where you're at. And get honest about who you're pointing at. Bro, if you don't have the comparable achievements or successes and ability to get honest, bro, then you stop wasting your time doing that and point the fingers at yourself. That energy is going to be much better used there. Losers can't do that. Winners win. Winners will hit failure and experience it just as a learning moment. And go right back at it, ante back up. We ante back up. Winners come back. They lace back up. They get back on the field. They put their money where their mouth is. They'll show up again and again and again and again. Losers don't have consistency. They can be consistent. They can be consistent at being negative and losing. It's not the type of consistency I want, man. I want consistency up. Accurate consistency that's strategic for the goals that I'm trying to achieve. That's what we do here on TCAV TV. I love y'all. Love the support, man. I love the positive people. And that's the important piece. Is we win here. We win here. We all win. When those rising tide lifts all ships. When we get better, we lift others up. We don't push people down here, man. We don't do that. If you speak, it's to uplift, not to break down. It's to instruct and uplift. That's all. If you're not doing that, take that tactical pause and think why. Dude, am I being a fucking loser here? And if you can get honest and you say, yeah, man, don't do it. Don't send that. Redirect that energy to yourself and improve. That's how we roll, baby. Be smart. Out here.